Hi, my name is Jim, and I wanted to show something that I'm a fiddler. I even go on the roof, fiddle around. So, yeah, isn't that cool? So, what I did was I designed these. Oh, please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, leave a comment, click a like. So routine, isn't it? So, what I did was I upgraded these a little bit so that I can take these. So I use these little dividers. So when I'm gluing these little strips on the top here, um, that keeps that space there until it's nice and dry. A little bit of wood glue, and so I can take this out if this gets damaged, or I can take this out and put it in any tray equivalent size that I want. So I'm gonna take this out, and that's what I'm gonna use now. So I'm gonna build like a number of these. So uh, I have hundreds of these, but I don't have hundreds of these. So this is going to be their new design. So let's go out there and take a look and see how those girls are doing today. I bet they're doing just fine. I already gave them uh, little bit of food. Came out and they were all out. So they got an early start this morning, apparently, before I even came out. And so they've got their food trays all loaded up. I've swatted a bunch of flies a little while ago, because flies carry viruses of their own and bacteria, and they're in there trying to eat that food and mix it up there with their saliva in there. And well, you know what? I don't like that. Well, there's enough diseases already. So there's a bunch of flies right there. Took them out. There's somebody sitting right there. So I'll be doing is taking my fly swatter and just kind of keeping that population down. So here's how it looks today. They're out feeding away. Yep. Their little feeding trough. They just love it. They get in there and they get all excited. It's like I can tell their body language changes. What I decided to do, there was so much infighting that was going on from different bees from different hives. I thought, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna change this situation. So what I did is I did this over here, and it all changed. It took about 10 minutes. Those are marauders mostly. So I want them to get to liking that hive right there. They've been in and out of it, exploring it. So when it comes to wherever those marauders are coming from, when it comes time for them to do their split, I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. They know right where to go. Up, baby. Oh, sorry. Come here, baby. Come on, up. Good girl. I smacked my hand. She's going, what did I do wrong now? Hi, baby. You want to give me kisses? Huh? Give me kisses? No. She said, no, you spooked me. No kisses for you. Okay. All right. So this is Ginger. Say hello to my little friend. So, so now what happened after I did that? I went and filled those little trays, and so there was so much fighting going on over here. Lots when I came out. So, but after I filled those little trays over there, it changed. So it was so intense. The marauders were really getting beat up pretty bad. My girl said, "No, we were here first. This is for our hive." And I watched that go on for probably about 10 minutes before I said, I gotta change something. This ain't working, right? And so I filled those little trays over there. Probably took about 15 minutes for them to go tell their girlfriends. And now it keeps getting, there's more and more and more now. And so the fighting over here has stopped. Because now the marauders, once they get bitten up enough, I've seen one of my girls just nipping at the wing. I'm gonna nip your wing and tell you you can't fly. And that girl sensed it, and so that marauder, she just quickly flew out and went that way. And so my girls have chased away a lot of marauders today. And so now they're over there. They can eat in peace. And I'm okay with feeding the marauders. And if there's too many marauders, yeah, I don't see any fighting over there. Oh, there's a few being chased away, but the fighting over here was intense. Like, whoa, I gotta do something. So, yeah, over there it's pretty quiet. Yeah, okay, I solved that problem. Another one bites the dust. So what I do is I grab this flash water right here, and I just get up there and spot those flies up there. I'm just trying to keep down the population because they will tell their friends, the next thing you know, I got flies everywhere and getting into food, and my bees are constantly trying to chase them away. And so I just make the life for my girls a little easier. Oh yeah, there's a lot more now. Over there. So I don't mind feeding the bees from the different hive. I just don't want to have to feed them heavy. What I do is I buy the 50-pound bags of sugar, just table sugar. When I run low, I'll order a bag because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to buy a 50-pound bag than it is to buy those 4-pounders and 10-pounders and 20-pounders. Yeah, save like about 5% or something like that. That adds up. Every little bit adds up, you know. I do so many things and cut corners on so many things as far as expenses that when I add up everything in my head, it's in the thousands a year because of the way that I think conservatively, and that gives me money and resources for other projects and other things that I need the money for. When I did my roof, yeah, it was leaking. I had just had major back surgery, and I just couldn't get up there. So I waited until I felt like I could, and I knew I had to do it. It was the following year, and I still wasn't ready. I still hadn't healed enough, but I had to get up on that roof. So I went to the neurosurgeon and I asked her if she would give me a cortisone shot. And so she did. She approved it. So I was laying on the operating table, on the gurney thingy, you know, not operating table. I guess you can call it that. And so the guy who was getting ready to do the spinal, because it was a spinal shot, and he goes, "So which side do you want it on?" I said, "Both, please." He looked at me surprised. Like, what? He goes, "Okay." So he gave me a spinal cortisol shot in both sides of my spine down there in the area where I had the surgery. And I was waiting for like a month. Okay, I need to do this. I need to get this started in, no later than June, because that's when there's no rain. No, I knew that we virtually hardly ever get rain for like 3 months here in our area, Eugene. So I knew the window. And so about a month later, I didn't feel any difference. The pain was still intense. And I thought, I gotta go. I just gotta do it. So I ordered all the stuff, and got all my ducks in a row and got up there, and I kept collapsing. I was up there tearing off the roof. So what I did was, because I've never roofed in my life, I don't know nothing about roofing. I know about the fiddler on the roof, but I don't know nothing about how to replace a roof. And so I started tearing the shingles off, and I said, okay, I'm going to see how these were laid down. So I would tear off a few shingles in an area, and I said, oh, that's how they laid those down, in this area. Okay, I'll do that. I'll double layer here, and then I'll get all these corners, and I say, I see how they laid that. Okay, when I put my new shingles down, I'll lay in this corner like that. And I did that. So as I removed all the shingles, I paid attention how they did that. It was a simple concept. I just wanted to make sure when I laid mine down, I did it right. And so I kept collapsing. I wasn't ready to be on that roof. No, I kept collapsing. A couple of times I almost fell off the roof because it's like somebody just come off and cut my legs off, and I had no legs, and I would just collapse right on the roof. So what I did is, but I would recuperate pretty fast, as if the nerves would just get exhausted, inflamed and stuff, and they just shut down. And so would my legs immediately, no warning or nothing. All of a sudden, I didn't have no legs. And so once I'd get that feeling back in my legs, I decided I need to do something. I'm gonna get falling off this roof. So I went and got some ropes, a chest strap that I had, and I strapped it to the other side of the roof, and I hooked myself in, and then I just kept working. I collapsed many times, but I wasn't gonna fall off, right? At worst, I would be dangling off the edge. And so I tore off all the shingles and found where all this roof damage. There was so much roof damage to the panel. You must have been stung before, haven't you, girl? She's really jittery about these bees being around her. She's been stung probably. And so, what was I? I got these bees buzzing around my face. I don't know if I should goggle up or not. Well, they're not really orientating that much, but they are buzzing around a lot, exploring. And so, yeah, I've been dangling there. And so the damage to the roof itself, the plywood, was really extensive. In fact, there was one spot I was walking around. I walked over it and I fell right through. Yeah, that's how serious it was. My roof needed to have the shingles replaced. So I had to cut out big, huge sections. And I couldn't get the 4x8 up by myself because I did my whole roof by myself. I didn't have anybody helping. No, it was a solo job. So I ended up cutting the 4x8s into 2x4 or 2x8s, and I was able to carry them up one at a time. So I ended up replacing these huge sections of my roof, just all kinds of wood damage, tearing off my big skylights, and yeah. And then what I did was I laid down the tar paper. That's just a moisture barrier. After I moved all the shingles, I still got them over here. In fact, that's what's right here on my ground. Yeah, I repurposed them. I use those shingles for all kinds of things, bordering, all kinds of things. Amazing, right? And they're low degrading, so they degrade really slow. Like they're the newer shingles. They don't give off all those toxins and stuff. There was 1970s or 80s. A new law was passed on how shingles, the material that shingles could be made of, they had to be made safe. And the degrading time had to be like centuries, like really slow, right? And so, and that's what these shingles are. So I can use these for bordering in my garden, anything I want. Right? They'll last for 100 years or more, probably more, probably a lot more. And so, so I replaced all those big, huge sections that were damaged with my roof, and started hammering one nail at a time. I used a staple gun, one of those hammer staple guns, to get my tar paper to stay. Bam, 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 like that. But what I noticed over time, the longer I was doing that kind of heavy lifting and heavy work and constant all day long, my back started getting better. It was like physical therapy. And I started getting stronger, and I started carrying all that heavy stuff up that ladder, one thing, and come back and get some more shingles, up. It was actually good physical therapy. I went to a physical therapist after my surgery. That girl was going to kill me. She would do, every time I went there, I couldn't go back for a couple months. When I said to her, I said, I just can't come back to you. What you do hurts me so bad, causes so much pain, I just can't do it. She goes, oh, I'm sorry. I said, I guess I'm just different. Right? So yeah, it usually works for everybody else. Well, it doesn't work for me. And so getting on that roof, well, it was my physical therapy. And it worked. I became very strong. My back became strong again, and I was able to get back to running and working out. Yeah, I I did it my way, and it worked fantastic. And so laid all my shingles one at a time. I used nails. I didn't want to use this staple gun, the air staple gun, because I wanted to be able to remove that nail if I got something wrong. Just gotta pop them out. I had this little puller if I got a nail in that didn't. There was one time it was 113 degrees on the roof. I was up there. Yeah, what I did is I took a bucket of water, and so I put it up there, and I'd get really hot, take my shirt off, dunk it in the water, wring it out a little bit, slap it back on, and keep working. 113 degrees. There was one point I had to get off the roof because I looked back and all my shingles were, they didn't look normal. I was just going away. I was going into, heat stroke. I didn't know it. And I look back and see what I did, and I'm going to have to remove all that. I think I'm getting off the roof for now. And so I got off the roof, went and chilled down, turned the air conditioner up, and, stayed in the house for probably about 30 minutes until I felt like, okay, my mind is clear. And then I went back up and got back to work. And so, yeah. And it all turned out really well. The roof, the only problem I had was with my skylights. They had these flanges, and they were broken up, and it was gonna cost me over $1,000 to replace them. So I kept fiddling with them until I didn't get any more leaks, and that's fine, no more leaks. Because I put my skylights in there differently than what was in there, because that was the problem. The kind of skylights that they installed in this house, because I ordered this house brand new, and they installed it on my property. I bought the piece of land, and then I went and picked out the kind of home that I wanted that had the design that I wanted, and I had put I drew a schematic where I wanted them to set the house, because I wanted the house be a certain angle, a certain distance from this borderline, that. So they set the house on that schematic that I drew for them, and there it is. Bees are doing great. There's lots of pollen coming in, and so. But anyway, those skylights, they're fine now. No leaks. So what I was saying, I designed them so that instead of leaking, if the skylight developed a leak, instead of it leaking on the wood over time, the plywood underneath my shingles, I designed it so it would leak into my kitchen. So I'd get a heads up that there's something wrong with the skylights. They're not sealed properly. Because that's what happened on both of my skylights. That's what caused the problem, was those skylights. They developed a leak on the flanges that are underneath the shingles. So I said, okay, that design definitely doesn't work, obviously. So I designed it so that I put the shingles down, I laid all my shingles, and I put the skylights on top of the shingles. So if there was a leak, I would see it in my kitchen. And I'd go up there and say, okay, I got to reflange this. Instead of damaging my roof, because sometimes it can be so slow. It's up there eating away at the wood, but I don't see any evidence in the house, so I don't even know what's leaking. I don't know that it's got a problem. And that's what happened. So I did both of my big skylights like that. So if there's a problem with my skylights, now I know to go work on the skylights to do something different. But everything's fine now. No leakies. That's always a good thing when your roof isn't leaking. And it looks really cool up there. I did some little run videos of it, and painted a little fence with, Star Spangled Stripes and everything, and smiley faces. Yeah, pretty cool. All right. And so the estimate that I got was going to be around $20,000 to do my roof. I did the whole thing including some tools I had to buy, for about $1,900 and some odd, $1,900 something. Less than $2,000 it cost me to do my roof, because when I went down to Home Depot, they were having a clearance on a specific design, and I had a conversation with the manager about the clearance, and I talked him down. He goes, he thought about it. He goes, yeah, clearance, I can mark it down some more. So I got my shingles really cheap. Right? It's amazing what a little bit of talk can do, right? No, I didn't have to sweet talk him. I just talked to him with dignity and respect, like everybody should do to every human being. And oh, I gotta feed those girls over there some more, the Marauders. Oh, there's a lot of them. So less than $2,000 I did my roof. I saved almost $20,000 by doing it myself. Of course, I knew that. I knew that was going to likely be the case. I thought it was going to probably cost me at least $5,000 for everything. No. A little talking, and it wasn't even smooth. It was just talking to normal people with normal intent, with normal courtesy and kindness. Yeah, it goes a long way to be kind to your fellow human being. Yeah. So looks like it's time to feed these girls again. They're running low, and so when I sit down to record something, I don't even think about it before. I don't even have any concept of what I'm going to be talking about. I sit down and it just happens. Tomorrow I might talk about when I was in the Army. Well, the next time I record, when I was in the Army, oh, some things happened. This soldier had some things happen to him. I was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado. Colorado Springs. Yeah, some crazy things. Kind of cool stories, but at the time it wasn't cool. To me, it wasn't cool. It was not cool at all. But you know, when we're a kid, I was only 18. We don't think about cooler. When certain things happen, we don't want this to happen. Doggone, it's in my way. Messing up my agenda. And but you know, as time goes by, and we reflect on that, and we go, oh, you know, actually that was kind of a cool thing to happen. That's a neat story. At the time it wasn't. Kind of like that. And yeah, when we're kids, sometimes we just don't care about those things. And I haven't even walked down the aisle yet to get my diploma. I was still waiting to flip the tassel. And actually, no, I hadn't yet. I had already graduated from high school, but I graduated just a little bit early, a couple months early, because I got all my requirements, and a little early, and I was maintaining an AB through it too. So yeah, it was pretty easy, really. The last few semesters, it was just easy. Didn't have to really think about it. Just went, oh yeah, did the test. You know, sometimes we get in that zone, and so yeah, there were cool stories. I'll tell them eventually. You'll appreciate them. Yeah, I mean, all honorable people, anybody who's honorable, has that certain level of integrity and dignity stuff for themselves and their fellow human beings. Yeah, they'll appreciate the stories I'm going to tell. Yeah. All right. Just wanted to give an update on my new design, and this is how the girls are doing today. They are feeding away, having a good day, just like I am, and just like you are, I hope. And oh, you're out of food over here? Yeah, I guess you are. I better feed you up. All right, and this is what it looks like over here now. These Marauders, they're in peace over here. Oh, you guys got that pretty much eaten up. I had topped all those off just about 10 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago. Well, right before I started recording, I just capped all those off right before I started. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, click the like, all those routine things. When I created my podcast, YouTube gave a lot of tips. Do this and do that, and do this and do that. It'll help your channel grow. I haven't noticed that. But I'll stick with their recommended routines. I really don't care one way or another that much. I just kind of enjoy making the podcast. It's I find it relaxing and almost entertaining to make a podcast. Maybe even a little fun. Now there was a time that I just lost interest. I had that herniated disc, and it seemed like such a hassle, and I was in pain all the time, and I lost interest in doing podcasts. It's like, man, this is not a priority. I need to get my priorities straight, and YouTubing isn't it. So now that I'm all good, I'm back to normal, healthy, physically fit me. No pain of nothing. Yeah, now I'm relaxed, and I can enjoy making a podcast. Okay, that's my day. And that's the way I rock, and I four-wheel. Sorry, Ginger, and you have a good day. Oh, one thing I was going to say. See how I just put my hands down? See how I put my hands down to get up? I put my hands down to sit down. I recommend you don't do that. Stand up. Don't put down. It's a habit. Break the habit. I'm trying to break it right now. And when I put my shoes or my socks or my clothes on or off or anything like that, where I need to balance on one foot, I avoid leaning against anything. Don't touch anything, right? We need to keep those little muscles exercised, in tune, right? In form, right? So that we can maintain our balance throughout our life as long as we can. So when I first started realizing that, I'm going, some days I just feel like I'm off balance. And then I noticed that, every time I put on my socks or whatever I'm doing, where I got to lift one foot or something, I'm always leaning against something or holding something while I'm doing this. And I'm going, I need to stop that. That is a bad habit. So now what I'm doing is I don't touch nothing when I'm putting my shoes on. I just, here. So when I'm putting my shoes on, I make sure that, what? Yeah, I'm in your way, ain't I? I make sure that when I do that, on my socks, I don't touch anything. I don't try to support my balance, right? So that I can keep all those little muscles toned, right? There's even kids, right? What? There's even kids that do that, and they start losing their balance when they're children. Like 18, 17, 15, right? They grab and they pull, right? You've probably seen how I probably put my hands down, didn't you? Uh-huh. Yeah, don't put the hands down. Leave the hands out of the equation. Now, of course, if you're in a situation where there's a bunch of spikes all around you, you're putting your shoes on, lean against one of the spikes. Right. Lean, just in case. One false move and it's all over, All right. Good day. Did I grab it? I don't know. I don't think so. There you go.